So it's wine o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
Woo!
It is wine o'clock somewhere.
Yes.
At
Yes,
this
it is.
point in time, it's technically wine o'clock anywhere.
Right.
True.
That is true for sure right now. So anyway, yes, welcome. And I'm Liz,
I'm Carolyn. I'm Marie.
I'm Mia.
and we're the 5 o'clock somewhere ladies.
Wine o'clock somewhere?
Wine
You
o'clock.
said
Wine-
5 o'clock.
wine
Wine o'clock,
Wine
o'clock,
whatever.
Don't whine about it.
Yeah, don't worry about
Sometimes
it.
we'll do wine o'clock at 5 o'clock. I mean, it could. Just not today. Today's
Yeah.
2 o'clock somewhere.
It's 2 o'clock, wine o'clock.
Okay, so why are we here, ladies?
To
All right.
talk.
To talk. We are real estate investment ladies, and we all have our own little niche, and some of those niches cross over too. But we, when we get together, we always have very interesting conversations that are not about our kids or husbands or normal girl gossip. We talk about real estate and taxes and insurance and all of these lovely topics, and we thought we should share it with the world.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So Mia, what do you do?
She had to do it when I
Oh,
told her.
sorry. Just kidding.
I am a real estate wealth manager. I help people buy and sell houses for different reasons, whether it be for personal homes or real estate investments or short-term rentals, long-term rentals, anything like that. So here in the Phoenix, Arizona market is where I work, which is where we're all working at the moment. So
Excellent. Marie, what do you do?
So, I am a real estate investor. I have 3 short-term rentals. Had that going on for the last 4 or 5 years, and then I also flip properties. So, that's the gist of it. That's the quick version.
Carolyn, what do you do?
Well, I'm a local real estate investor as well. I recently got into the passive income side of things.
What does that mean?
That means I, through my self-directed 401k, purchased 2 rental properties to bring in rental income into my 401k for future retirement down the road.
Oh, very good.
And wait a minute, where are those properties located?
They are located out of state from where I'm currently doing the active side of my investing business. One is in Little Rock, Arkansas, and one is in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
We'll get into later how you found those, because
Yeah.
it's not like that's an easy task.
No.
And I'm Liz, and I do rehabs. I have had some vacation rentals in the past, but right now I do rehabs and a new build. Whoop, whoop.
yeah.
So it's a whole different side of stuff.
Yes.
So anyway, it's an interesting day for us because this is our first wine o'clock somewhere, and we officially, yeah. And you know, we had this idea, but we are stuck and currently involved in the coronavirus. What's it called again?
Quarantine?
I know, but what's
Like the epidemic?
COVID-19.
Pandemic.
And we're not supposed to be this close, but we've all been together for quite a few weeks, and we know where we've been. But anyway, this changes the conversations on what we've been talking about, what we have been doing. So that's an interesting thing now. It's affected each of our businesses in different ways. So
Yep.
I don't know.
And our lives.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink and eat to that.
I know.
Well, to a very
Cheers to
quick
that.
overcoming of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes, and that it will survive. The real estate and investment businesses
Absolutely.
will survive 100%. But it's just going to be what we need to do to protect ourselves and help out our other people,
Yeah.
and those kind of things. So
And having a plan with each of our own individual businesses, marketing strategies in order to surpass the big obstacles that we kind of have coming our way. So,
yeah. So as a realtor, what are you seeing, like literally right now?
well, I have had a couple of my buyers run for the hills through some fear and
So not wanting the houses now.
not ready to buy.
Okay.
So because much of my business is with investors, there's a handful of investors that are kind of pulling back, saying, you know, I'm not sure that this is the right time, or there's a lot of prediction of this market crash. And I recently posted on my page a couple days ago talking about the differences between the 2008 market crash and what's going on today. There's no correlation,
right.
besides the fact that, yeah, we had an issue with our the Dow dropped and stock market
But
reduced.
like in
but
2008, it was more of the housing market. It was more of the
It was a
loans and the
big-
type of
yes.
stuff that was happening.
But it was the type, yeah, like you said, the type of loan. So they did a lot of ARM loans, which are adjusted rate mortgages. So after 3 to 5 years, the rates of a mortgage went from 3% to 6%, and then 3 years later it went to 8%. People can't manage that kind of a mortgage increase overnight. And therefore, it was 100% predictable to see almost to date when it was going to happen. And as of right now, we don't have those loans.
All right, hold on. I have to shut that up.
Sorry. Linging again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's why you pick up your kids' alarm, huh?
Yes.
Her kids are safe.
As I
But it
heard
also
this
stopped my
morning, it's
video, so
through
that's
at least April 10th.
Yes.
As of right now, officially. And that some school districts have gone for the full year.
But in regards to the real estate, my personal opinion, I don't feel like we're going to see a big crash. I do believe that we are going to have a little bit of a dip, and some hiccups over the course of just the next couple of months is my personal belief. And then I think we're going to come back just as strong as ever and continue on our path as soon as this is overcome. I don't think it's going to be like a halt and
Cease and desist.
yeah, we're gonna have some issues in the next couple of months, and I think it's gonna bounce right back. I don't think we're gonna look back on these last couple months and laugh at our concern and everything. At least I hope so.
You mean the stock of toilet paper is not going through the roof right now?
What do you mean you don't have an entire house full of toilet paper?
I do not. But luckily I have a couple of vacation rental properties that had some extra toilet paper rolls, so I'll be taking advantage of that.
So what's happening with your vacation rentals then right now?
We have had a complete, well, let's just say right now it's supposed to be our busy season here in the, Phoenix, Scottsdale area, and I'm normally fully booked 100% through April. March and April, it's almost impossible. I maybe have a day or two here and there, where next month I only have 2 weekends right now. So this is definitely my busy season, which is being cut short to the coronavirus. And luckily we have some savings, so we'll be able to pay our mortgage. But yeah, it's definitely changed our outlook on just the short-term rentals. We're looking into some other things. We just listed the house on Cozy, which is another website for landlords to find tenants, and Furnish Finder, which is specifically to find traveling nurses. We're looking into insurance companies, which we talked about too. People need to get relocated for a short term for other professions too, so I've been looking at other professional rental websites and stuff, so we're trying to explore now and learn and grow. That's how I see it's an opportunity to learn.
So I have a question for you about that.
Yeah.
So if the short-term rental market is sort of taking a dip here, like for you, would you consider, if this continues on for the foreseeable future over several months, would you consider renting the properties out for a longer-term lease?
Yeah, definitely. And all of my properties, even if I did it as a fully furnished rental, the rental income is enough to cover the mortgage and the bills and everything, to still have something, but it would not be the same amount of income that I was privy to in the last 4 or 5 years. But
would you do
also
that
sustain
as a longer lease, or would you do it like a month-to-month kind of basis?
No, I'd probably, if this continues, I'd look at, 6-month, 12-month leases, and just once everything were through this period, then, try and get back into the short term. But in the near future, that's why right now I'm looking at the relocation services that are also short term, but a little bit longer term than Airbnb, right? Where it's just like a weekend or a week away with the family, looking at stuff that's more like month to month, but usually 3-month, 4-month type of things.
Because there be families in the medical industry where people are having to move out of their homes for a period of time during this quarantine because they don't want to contaminate. They have family members that have underlying underlying conditions, or they have small children or babies, and they don't want to have to come home and deal with the possibility of infecting their families.
right.
So I've seen and read stories in the last 2 days of people actually moving out
Yeah.
and taking advantage of the
think I'm gonna
short-term
do that.
rental in that way.
Yeah.
Liz is gonna move out of her house.
Just gonna move out of your house.
I am.
Just for
I'm gonna take one
sanity.
for the team, and I'm gonna move out for them.
Well, just so you know, I have a short-term rental available on a month-to-month
I
basis right
just
now.
might.
Extremely
I
affordable.
just might.
One bed, one bath.
It's perfect.
Don't have to deal with other people at home.
So, Carolyn, you were telling me a story today, and I shushed you because I wanted you to share it with all of us about what's happening with you and your investments and things like that.
Okay, so a little bit more detail about me and my world. I'm a real estate investor, but I also, for my 9-to-5 job, I'm a massage therapist that works at a spa locally. And we, as of a day ago, I was furloughed for the foreseeable future. They'll reevaluate this week and see where we're at, but essentially spas, gyms are all shut down, so I don't have a paycheck coming in after the next one. So panic ensues. No.
Smart thinking.
Immediately the next day upon learning that information, I started applying at all the places that are currently hiring, like, some of the big name stores. Am I allowed to share that on the video?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like Costco, Target, Fry's, Safeway, Amazon, are just some of the few that I applied to last week, and I got a call back from Amazon and from Target to apply for jobs. So I applied for both, and after going for an interview with Target, they offered me a job position at a customer service level, cashier kind of thing, sort of seasonal hire, because they, again, don't know how long they're going to need people.
Well, and it's not really
But
your
they need
career
people.
path, isn't it?
No, it's not my career path.
goals.
So I need
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you're a massage therapist and an investor.
adding cashier to the mix for the short duration, just to bring in a little bit of a stipend to pay some of my bills so that I can keep going and keep doing the investment business, and while I'm on furlough from being a massage therapist. So I also reached out to my financial advisor with some of my 401k and my IRA investments. I have a couple of traditional IRAs and then a Roth IRA, and we just discussed a plan for me to raise cash in a couple of those accounts so that in the future, if I do find myself short on money for expenses, I can draw on that money with paying taxes, without, with being able
penalized.
to, being penalized and being able to pay for my monthly expenses until we all get back up and running. So that was a phone call that you overheard.
Yeah.
Me talking
I didn't want
about
to
it,
hear
and
it.
then
She was sharing it
I
with
was
me, and I
sharing,
said, "You have to tell me later."
And then I spoke to my CPA about which taking money out of an traditional IRA or raising the money in cash to be drawn on, or out of a Roth. And she immediately said the Roth IRA, I can draw on the principal if it's been in a Roth for 2 years or more without penalty, and it's already paid taxes so on that money, so I don't have to pay taxes on that. So I can raise some money immediately in the short term if I need to.
That's
What a
really
great
good.
retirement
Without
plan.
penalty.
I know.
But no, it's a good thing to be aware of. I mean,
Yeah.
right now, like if you're going to take from your 401k, you're definitely going to be penalized. But if you have a Roth,
And then the other strategy is with the 401k aspect, I created a self-directed IRA at the end of last year with retirement funds from Marriott when I retired from them, and then bought the 2 rental properties in the two different states. And that is growing for the long term. That's the long game for me.
Yeah.
That's going to bring in rental money every month to, for 10 plus years from now when I actually totally retire, if not sooner. The goal is sooner. To set myself up that way, I'll have money coming in passively to pay my bills at that stage. But until then, part of this government stimulus package that's been throwing around, and they're negotiating back and forth between the two sides currently. Part of it, my financial guy told me that there is a provision in that stimulus package right now that they're trying to get passed, that everybody could draw up to 100,000 out of your 401k without the penalty tax, you'd still be responsible for the other income tax in your state and, you know, federally. But you get 3 years to pay that tax back and to replenish the amount of money you take out for 3 years. So,
Wow.
so I
That
could
sounds
take,
good, but that's still, how do you get the money back?
right, you'd have to,
Yeah.
it would
I know,
make
you
you
have to
wonder
have
how
it.
much,
essentially a loan.
it's up
Yeah.
to 100,000, so it's like, how much do you want to draw
much do you
on
need?
that? Right.
Right.
It's actually doing the math. I sat down and went through my monthly budget, and I wrote out every single penny that goes out the door for my business and for my personal finances. And then I multiplied what the low end of working at Target would bring in, and then did the math so that I could figure out the disparity between what I'm going to be bringing in from Target and what my monthly expenses are and what I need to cover that, and where can I trim the fat.
Yeah.
And then I also did the number for if I'm working the high end and get the
Trimming the
most
fat is easy when everything's
numbers.
closed.
Right. Yeah, it's not spending so much right now because
True.
everything is shut down. So
Yeah.
that makes it a little easier. So there was a little bit of math involved last night.
A little bit.
A little bit of math to figure out those numbers and
Well,
figure that
I
out.
want to
for
take a
myself.
moment to commend you because you are a step ahead of
Yeah.
90% of Americans and really the world right now for having the funds set up way and knowing who to talk to in order to hold them and the consequences of it. So props
And-
to you.
and doing
'cause
that research.
everybody needs to know this right now. That there's options out there if you know who to talk to or who to reach out to.
I'm very grateful because I've been counseled along the way through my life with giving people in my life to talk these things over to, and certainly being in community with all of you and nationally with a group of investors, you get a lot of information
Yeah.
that you otherwise would normally not
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. So true.
Liz, what do you do?
Oh, well. I have
What's
a rehab
happening
that's
now?
totally ready to hit the market, and 2 weeks ago it would have flown straight off the shelf, and now we'll just have to
Did you
see.
get the landscaping done?
It's getting there. Still saw a house.
It
without
stopped raining.
landscaping. It stopped raining.
It stopped raining, thankfully.
But literally, I mean, you know, I don't know how long it'll take, and my realtors are still confident. But the issue now too is the availability of people seeing it. So we're making videos and we're doing different, you know, strategies to get it out there. It's a new build, so it's a great house and that, but it's just, but it's inexpensive. It's, you know, listed at $825, so it's on the higher end of, you know, buying. But it's still in a great location, and the value is still there in the house. So it's just now the frustration of literally 2 weeks ago, not an issue, and we just don't know. None of us know how long this is going to last,
Right.
and how long it's going to be.
Are we allowed to be doing open houses right now? Is that technically?
Well, yes.
A real estate agent or real estate services in the state of Arizona is deemed as essential services. However, many states throughout the country are not listing real estate as an essential service.
Which is sad, because it is. People are still in the throes of relocating or moving or building or doing something. And that in title agencies, you can't lower the interest rates as much as they have and then not allow people to have those options to do that kind of stuff. So I think sometimes they just gotta stop and not knee jerk so bad and really think about what the impact is overall and
Well, in regards to
what's going on.
open houses, like I just literally in the house that we're sitting at, I just hosted a virtual open house and I did it live on Facebook and did the entire video and
So there's
watched the
there's
property.
huge options, and then
There's-
people can
there's-
come look at the house alone,
Yes.
which I've heard is happening. So you don't have to necessarily have the open house,
Yeah.
but you can have
Showings.
showings. But you can have an open house and only allow one set of, you know, one group of people in
I
at a
did get
time or something.
nosy on your house last night because I thought 800,000. That's a lot for that neighborhood, and I went and looked, and I have to say you might be underpriced a little bit.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, 'cause-
anybody
yeah.
who's watching, her house
And
is
it's a brand new build, 2
amazing.
master bedrooms.
surrounded by $1 million houses.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, especially
great
just there on the north
neighborhood.
side of Indian School. Those
Yeah.
are all. There's hardly. I don't think there's anything under $1 million if it's not.
yeah, I snooped.
Yeah. So good.
We were,
thank
we
you.
were chatting about it all the time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, where is it? Oh, I found Liz's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just gonna unfortunately may take a little bit longer, which is gonna cost me, you know, as an investor.
Yeah.
It's already
More
cost me,
holding
but
costs.
more holding costs. But
But I think
It
it's
will
a good
happen.
opportunity again to kind of grow and learn because now we're taking advantage of all these strategies that, like, you know, you probably heard before, like, do a video walkthrough of your property, and like, oh, that wasn't necessarily essential.
Yeah.
Yes, refill.
Yeah.
I was gonna say though, next time, can I eat a little bit before we start filming?
I know,
Because
so
I'm shoveling food in my mouth.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm glad we're not
Carolyn and I
live.
had enough time to sit here. We were snacking.
And
for like a second.
because I'm literally like, bleh. Anyway, no, it's a great time to learn right now and grow and take advantage of things that, you know, you should have probably been doing in your business anyway. Some certain things like, you know, videoing properties more often and putting them on Facebook and social media
And I
marketing
think we
and
do
stuff
that,
like that.
anyway, as investors, but we have to let people know it's still okay. I mean,
Yes.
Right.
we're not going to be in this situation forever, and it's still okay to start planning.
Well, and at the same time, just because we're going through an issue in the economy and stuff, that doesn't change the fact that people still need to buy or sell houses. It doesn't change people still doing these things. So knowing that it's okay.
I
With
have a buddy
everything
who's a
going on.
realtor, and we talked about it, so I haven't talked to him in a week and a half, but he said he has so many people that had sold their houses, not so many, but he has a handful of clientele that have sold their houses and have not been able, because our market has been so tight here in Phoenix, they haven't been able to find the houses that they want, and they're in rentals right now. They still want houses. They're not
Yeah.
rental people.
Yeah.
They still need to invest in a home. They need to put their money somewhere, and so he's like, there wasn't hardly, the inventory was so low and it was so tight that they're still out there.
That's one of the differences in this market compared to 2008 is that in 2008 there was a surplus of houses.
Yeah.
There was tons of houses on the market and not enough buyers in reality.
Right.
And now we're still at a shortage, and we've been at a shortage for almost over a year now.
Yeah.
At least in Arizona.
In Arizona, yeah, for sure.
Like, I don't know about the rest of the country or the world at that point, but
Well, they're not quite as cool as we are.
no, I
As
mean,
warm as we are.
well, what were we talking about the other day? When you first became a realtor, 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
there was 15,000 listings on the MLS average, and now there's seven.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
down
I'm
to seven.
I think we're at
7,000.
7 recently.
So
Wow.
let's say,
Well,
let's
now
put that
I'm
in
seeing
Alan
more and more
Langston's,
people
from the Azria. If not another house hit the market, I mean, just as statistic wise, if another house didn't hit the market, you'd have 1 month or 2 months. What's
less
supply?
than 1 month right now.
Of supply.
It's about 1 month
Yeah.
supply.
And that's just crazy to think.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Which is why
get
you're
these houses
underpriced.
on the market.
Which is why you're underpriced at 8.
Told me that 2 weeks ago.
Other essential services that are listed for Arizona are all the trades. Like they're listed, all of the HVAC, the plumbing, the
Oh yeah.
electrical,
Oh my gosh.
all
you,
the construction people.
Could you
they're
imagine
all
the disaster
specifically
if
listed.
a month from now you can't get your air conditioner fixed and it's 100 degrees?
And we're warming up. It's supposed to be 80 on Sunday.
My expectation is when all of this is over, that our streets aren't going to have potholes anymore.
That's good.
Because
right?
what better time to work on our roads?
When there's no
When
traffic.
there's
there is
no
There is
traffic.
less traffic on the road right now than there was Martin Luther King Day
Yes.
or President's Day. National holidays, and there is less traffic on the roads
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
during
I might
rush
head,
hour.
I might head north up towards Flag this weekend and go get some eggs from my sister because I won't get stuck on Sunset Point with all the traffic.
Right.
So yeah.
Although someone will probably yell at us because we're not 6 feet apart, and
Well, I said that in the
We have all
beginning, though.
sanitized. We've washed our hands multiple times. We wear our masks in public.
And well, some of us
well,
do.
we have no symptoms.
Hey,
we
I
have
do
not
when I
been
go to the grocery
exposed
store.
to anyone that has symptoms.
And
Yeah.
we've been together anyway.
Multiple times a week.
I mean, before this started.
Yeah.
So we've been in and out together anyway. So
Well,
We're
this
taking all
we
necessary
are healthy women.
precautions.
This is family. We're
Yeah.
quarantined with family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're all healthy, middle-aged, sort of women. I know.
Don't
I didn't
remind
say
me,
it that
Liz.
way. Sorry.
You're almost there. She's not even close.
I was gonna say, what is middle age?
I know. Sorry, Mia's not, but
She brings her average down though. Amongst
We'll go in our average age.
all 4 of us.
I'm still in my 30s, ladies.
Yeah. I don't plan on getting too old too quick. I don't know. Give it time.
Yeah.
Have you done your taxes yet.
No. And we were scheduled for March 30th, but I think we're gonna extend it now that it's been extended.
Yeah.
Just because my accountant is a little fickle about being with people right now, so I'm okay with that.
And that's for business and for personal, the extension has been
Yeah.
given.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
Good to
but
know.
business was still March, so.
It was supposed to be
They-
March 15th, but
It
I
was
think
supposed to
they
be,
extended
they
but then it's-
extended it as well.
Yeah, August, so then it must be pushed. Huh. Yeah, very good. Have you gotten yours back?
No, I don't. He hasn't actually finished them yet. He did apply for the extension though before
Yeah.
The
all
extension
this
happened.
right
Yeah.
before the you don't need to apply for an extension for it to happen. So
My
How do you feel about them?
my business taxes are
I
done,
like them.
No,
personal not.
not about, I mean, how do you feel
I
about
did
how
mine
your
the other
taxes
day.
are gonna be?
I don't know. I'm
I
curious.
How are yours?
owed.
And why? I mean, not why, but like, okay, let's go back. Your short-term rent, what in your business?
So my business, my short-term rental is ran under my partner's taxes and everything like that. So technically, it's his income goes to our household, but it's all his stuff. So we haven't done those taxes yet. What I did was mine and my real estate agent
Oh, okay.
taxes, but I made a good amount and I had lots of write-offs, but still walked away. But I also
I mean, she
being
sold 3 houses
strategic.
from me last year.
I know, that's good. No, it's really
being
good. That's really
strategic, I
helpful.
wanted to keep my income at a certain amount, so I couldn't write off everything because I want my income to show enough.
Oh, I
so
know.
that I
Maria
can
and
buy
I
a
have
house.
this conversation all the time. If you take a low income,
Mhm.
then you don't qualify for loans as well. But if you take a high income, you're can be paying taxes in a different way.
And I'm okay
so.
with paying taxes in general.
Yeah.
I don't mind paying a few thousand. So
Well, good. Have you done yours yet, Carolyn?
Not my personal taxes, no. Business taxes, yes. And because it was my first year being in real estate investing, I did take a loss on
Oh, yeah.
my investment because I invested so heavily out for the startup.
Yeah.
So that I'll be able to take that loss as my K1 on my personal
Yeah, so
taxes
you'll-
when I do that.
Right. So you'll hopefully get a refund.
Hopefully I'll get a refund. If anything, I'm hoping to at least break even. Yeah.
that's the biggest fish.
Yeah. For the last few years, I've been breaking close to even. Between last year, I owed $1,000, and the year before, I was even. Actually, got just a teeny bit back. Like if we're talking like $9 back.
$9.
Nine whole dollars. Bought me a glass of wine.
Hey,
So.
You could have bought the
Cheers.
whole bottle of sangria.
Well, that's
now,
true.
Now you know.
A bottle and a half of sangria.
Is it that cheap at Costco?
It's that cheap. Yeah. It's pretty
That's
good.
more sangria for
I know. That's why I stocked up for Marie.
well, it's 1 o'clock somewhere.
Yes, it is 9 o'clock somewhere.
And the difference there for those 2 years were the tax credit that was put in place for everybody across the country. I took a hit because Marriott withheld less, and I didn't know it. So because they withheld less, because they were now in a different circumstances because of getting such a big tax benefit from the government, then I ended up having to owe money because now I wasn't even. And
So-
now I was not having as much taken out, so then I was not paying tax.
That reminds me, I have a funny story. So when I used to live in New York, the company that I still work for, my engineering firm, we were bought by the company that I currently work for. So I was working for a small firm, we got bought by a big firm, and somehow your, tax elections didn't all get turned over into the new company. So they were taking out federal taxes and New York state taxes, but not New York City taxes. So everyone who worked in the office who lived in New York City was supposed to be paying city taxes. And they bought us at the beginning of the year. And it wasn't until the end of the year and when people started to, most people didn't realize that they weren't paying city taxes for the past like 9 months.
Oh boy.
Oh, what a headache. Just pay attention going on.
Did you all have
There's
to
so
pay
many
a lot?
people. No, I ended up and figuring it out early on and notifying certain people that I was like, hey, I actually looked at my paycheck and realized that there was nothing coming out.
Well, because
Most
it
people
seems
didn't
like
do
you
that.
probably would have had a pay increase if you were.
Yeah, Of course. I mean, but I'm like on direct deposits, and most people are on direct deposit, and they're not really paying attention to the exact amount that's going in. But I probably had only been there for like 6 months total time, and I was still like religiously looking at my paychecks, and so I was like, there's something wrong here. This is not right. And I had to get in touch with HR, and it became like a big deal. But it's just, I think this time right now with coronavirus and COVID-19 is a good time to think about how many people are just burying their head in the sand and are like, well, we'll deal with it when we have to come out on the other side, rather than planning, right? Going through the numbers. What does my income look like right now? How can I survive these next few months without a government bailout? Like, knowing your personal finances and taking responsibility for that is a huge thing.
And the government
there's
can't
so many people
bail out everybody. They're not going to bail out just it's going to be the big people. And not that, but if people are sitting back thinking, I'm going to do whatever I'm told and the government will bail me out, they're going to be in trouble. And they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Because they just can't do that. Even if they get a tax credit or they get whatever, that can't be the philosophy that you have.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of amazing to think about how many people are burying their head in the sand and are just like, oh, we'll figure it out later, or we'll get this bailout, or something where I feel like I don't want to rely on that, right?
Right. No.
So that's just my opinion. Like,
I've already got all my planning.
Yeah.
We sat down probably a week ago before this even really hit hard, and laid out and said, okay, where are we at? Like, and we've got some money in savings, so again, we're not gonna lose our houses over this by any means, but it's still something to sit down and think about. And for me, I'm such a planner anyways. My father was a huge planner and planned everything. Like, he planned for nuclear explosions and everything, and drops of economy, and like the whole 9 yards. Like, he had storage, fridge, and pantry full, like everything. So he instilled that in me.
By the way, ladies. So if there's ever a zombie apocalypse,
We're all hunkering in your house.
basement, just bring some food.
And toilet paper.
And toilet paper.
Holy crap! I got all right. Cheers.
Bring your
BYOTP.
I know you're afraid to have anybody over right now because you're like, oh my god, I don't have enough toilet paper for them to come over today.
What do you mean? I hide mine when they come over.
I know I'm kidding.
Mine goes in a closet, locked with a key and a padlock.
Yes, it's
No,
crazy.
not gonna lie though, at the beginning of this whole TP thing, I no joke, had a shortage of toilet paper. And I walked into a store one day and there was toilet paper and security guards at the toilet paper. One per household. One per, are you in the same household? No, I don't know this person. Let me grab my toilet paper and walk away, dude. No joke. And at this point I have a handful of toilet paper. And my vacation rentals are about ready to have an advertisement of BYOTP, 15% off. Yeah.
See,
So,
she lives like across the street from a Costco, so she's been able to hit it up the last couple mornings and get. So we might have to put it.
Costco has everything except toilet paper and paper towels. A business Costco.
If you like order it online, or just.
So what else do they have then? That's what.
Well, like cleaning supplies and stuff like that. Like, I was able to find everything that I needed except toilet paper and paper towels. And I'm good for the next couple weeks. Like, I'll make it the next couple weeks in regards to toilet paper. But paper towels, I literally stuffed my last 3 rolls of paper towels away.
I got you covered there.
Because I have none, and
I have a whole thing of Costco toilet paper, paper towels in my car right now.
Oh my gosh,
outside.
yeah, I'm almost out.
That I got yesterday morning.
I'm
Garbage paper?
almost out of paper towels, and I'm kind of, for the most part, like I've learned. Here's one for you, Grandma. I learned how to use rags to clean my kitchen.
Shocking.
Did you know that there's actually these washcloth things that you can use
Yes,
to wipe
you
your
can.
That's the story my grandmother
called
used to
soap and
No, I heard the
wash.
story.
She used to wash and
Reuse.
and hang paper towels in the kitchen on a clothesline.
On a
It was
clothesline.
amazing.
I think about that every time I wipe my counter down. I'm not kidding. But my dog has accidents sometimes. And when he has accidents, we literally go through a whole roll of paper towels to clean up his accident.
And now.
And so I have my 3 rolls of paper towels, and I'm like, and they're, mind you, they're 50-cent Fry's brand because that was what they had when the security guard was handing them out. And no joke, we got 4 rolls of this thing, these paper towels, which are this big around, mind you. Like, they're not Costco. They're this big around. And I'm like, if my dog has 2 accidents, we're done. We're out of it. And I'm not sure I can actually use a rag on his accidents because they're bad. My poor baby.
Rags and then
So,
outside and wash them
My
off.
boyfriend tried using the paper towels the other day. I was like, don't you dare! Do you not understand?
Boil some water.
That
and
might become an
sterilize that
outside
sucker.
dog. If it was my dog,
Oh, he
that
would
would
lose it.
become an outside
He
dog.
would lose it. He would crawl through a door, a physical door. It wouldn't happen.
Aw.
My babies.
Just saying. If it was mine.
For,
Be
for
outside.
me, I just wanted to mention that since I'm newer to the investment world, doing that for my stuff, I'm working on things that my mentors are helping me with just getting marketing stuff, all the no-cost marketing things, because this is the time to do things like that.
Yes.
Growing lists and things, joining groups on Facebook and looking at different avenues to have outlets so that I can continue moving forward, taking one step at a time.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's a
so.
good time to, catch up on those books that you wanted to read or working on your business and doing
Spreadsheets.
things.
Podcasts.
Podcasts.
Yeah, learning
You know,
spreadsheets.
Don't just sit at home and binge watch Netflix. You know?
I'm not. I'm drinking wine.
I know. I mean, we're not, but just a message to everyone.
Yeah.
You might as well use the time. Although I have been seeing posts that are interesting about, my brother-in-law posted that he couldn't find weights and workout equipment. Apparently, places. So we're like,
can
okay,
see
so
that.
everyone's home, quarantined, cleaning their houses, trying to eat healthier so that they stay safe during this, and working out. We're making a better.
I know. Is there still
And
is
progress
Play It
as a
Again
society.
sports
Teaching
still
their
around?
kids.
Is what?
Play It Again sports still around?
Yes.
Yes, I think they still have a
Because
couple.
that's where you go.
I wonder if they're deemed as necessary service.
Probably not.
But the
feel
funny
like they
thing is
should
all of
be.
a sudden they could be like, "Oh my gosh, it's the busiest we've ever been." And everybody's gonna have
Exactly.
equipment. They're gonna have home gyms again.
My personal trainer that I see usually once a week, she's been having her clients that are older that don't want to come into the gym. She has a private gym, so it's one-on-one training, not a big commercial gym. So she's in control of how she's sanitizing every single thing. So I'm still going and working out with her once a week because I know she's clean and I know
Well,
she's
because the big
sanitizing
gyms
everything.
are all closed down.
Everything
Right.
is, yeah.
So
No,
to
we
me,
set
it
one
would
up
be
in the
more
backyard.
appealing to go to a one-on-one kind of a thing
Yeah.
to do that. So, but her elderly clients who still don't want to go because they're not sure, they've just been coming and buying the resistant bands from her that she has in stock to bring home, and she'll write up a home workout for them.
All my girlfriends, we have a group chat on Facebook, and we have all posted our workout routines and are holding each other responsible. So every day it's, did you do your workout today, ladies? And then we're all like, let's see.
It's
how
not
many
over yet.
episodes
Today's
did
not
I
over yet.
watch?
Well, there's a bunch of YouTube videos that I like for at
Oh,
home yoga and
Yeah.
stuff. They're easy to just follow along
Yeah.
and do. So
Now's a good time to learn different things like the Zoom thing.
Yeah.
too,
Zoom,
you know,
yeah.
for businesses.
I'm
'Cause
gonna
I've been
I just
Zooming
signed up
for
yesterday.
been Zooming for a few years.
A note
Do
for
you
Zoom.
have a business account
Groups?
or just a personal account?
I signed up as a personal account because my team leader is the one hosting technically. So he's going to do the whole Zoom thing. But I did see a big Zoom fail the other day. Make sure if you're going to stand up pantsless, don't view or turn off the camera
Turn off
or something.
the
Yeah,
video?
don't walk to the bathroom and literally go to the bathroom while you're on video chat
That
with all of your
happens?
coworkers. Oh yeah. Type in Zoom
Oh, I
fails
think
and
I saw that where it was
Oh,
blurred
boy.
for the rest of us, but it was.
it was literally
trying
this
to
poor lady
figure it out.
walked, and you could see her walk into the bathroom carrying her phone, and then she literally drops the pants, sits on the toilet, going to the bathroom.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, it
So
was.
yeah, note to self, don't do that.
Yeah, so pay attention. If you're on video chat, pretend you're there in person. I mean, don't take somebody to the bathroom with you.
It's like those guys that are in shirt and tie here, and then they're just in boxers.
boxers.
Yes. It's half the guys out there, right now. I told my boyfriend I really liked his new business attire with his socks and slippers.
Yes. Well, what are you wearing, Jake from State
State
Farm?
Farm.
Or have you seen that ad though with
Yes.
Jake and the glass table?
Glass table and the
Jake's
strategically
working from
placed.
home.
What is
Oh
he
my God.
wearing now?
Some of the stuff I've seen makes me laugh out loud. So I posted the one about the dog laying there with all fours, just laying there, and they're like, "That's my 6th walk of the day. WTF is Corona." And then
See,
the
mine's
other-
There are a lot of
opposite.
people.
Humans are sitting at home being like, oh my gosh, I'm so bored. Dogs are at home. They love me. Finally, they figured out life.
I
They're
know, but then
walking
after 6
me.
walks a day, they're like,
petting
"What's
me.
happening?"
All of my humans are home, and we're like, seriously, stop asking for pets.
The other one, Kenny Rogers. It's Kenny Rogers dipping in the middle of an apocalypse is the best know when to fold 'em shit ever.
Oh dear.
Nice.
That one made me laugh out loud.
And rest in peace, Kenny Rogers. So
Yes.
Did
Yeah.
you say rest in peace?
I should
Peace.
I probably slurred
I was
that
like,
a little
rest
bit
in
because
beef?
I can't handle my alcohol after a few sips of it.
Oh my goodness. No,
And it's not
poor
even full
Kenny
strength.
Rogers passed away, the gambler,
Yes.
and know when to fold 'em.
yeah.
He's out.
Oh man.
So that made me laugh. I mean, not laugh at his death, but just, behind it. Made me laugh out loud. That one, and have you seen, I think it's Kevin Hart, and he says, "You're stuck in quarantine. You have 2 options. A, you can be with your wife and daughter, or B," and he's like, B, whatever B is.
Doesn't matter.
Oh my god, that reminds me. One of my coworkers wanted us to play this game. It's like, the either or kind of thing. Like you have to choose one or the other. So, same kind of thing, right? He'd be like, you can find out exactly like the time and day that you're gonna die. And everyone's sitting there like, oh my god, I don't want to know the time and day I'm gonna die. Like, no, like I'll take the other option. And the other option was like, every time you fart, you turn neon green for the rest of your life. And you're like, what? You're like,
Time of day I die.
both terrible options.
I choose neither.
Both terrible options. Either or. No, either or. You have to
I know,
choose
but
one.
that was that
It's a
other
terrible
joke. You
either
used to
or.
sneeze to hide your fart, now you fart to hide your sneeze.
Yes.
Yes.
So nobody, like, oh my god, so Corona.
If you're wondering about hygiene and washing hands, I did post to my personal Facebook page a study that was done, or an experiment that an elementary school teacher did
Oh,
with
yeah,
his
the black
kids
light.
with bread
Oh yes.
and how germs spread. So they each, there was the bread that was untouched, and then the bread from when you've taken it and wiped it across a Chromebook, and then the bread you've touched with just hand sanitizer, and the bread piece that you've touched after washing your hands with soap and water, and the bread piece that you've touched after a phone or electronic device or going to the bathroom without, just like a rinse and flick situation.
Nice.
And you have all the breads, and they put them in Ziploc bags, and you can see the mold growth and the bacteria growth on each of the
My
bread
son
things.
wants to do this experiment. We should do it.
Yeah, so you look at my Facebook page, and
Okay.
you'll be able to see at least.
Well,
Little
which was
white
the
Wonder
worst one?
Bread.
The worst one was the Chromebook. Like a
Chromebook.
laptop, yeah.
A
Well, when
laptop.
have you
A
ever
laptop.
sanitized your
I
computer?
did. I
right?
went through
Oh,
with
I
my
do-
Lysol the
yeah.
other day and did a high over.
Of course, the
Wait,
one that
my-
didn't have any growth
my-
was the soap and water washing hands.
My computer was the floor model.
Oh. And is
The
it
Best Buy
everything?
floor model.
Oh,
You've
as
ever
long as
been
it wasn't the
cleaned
Best Buy floor model in the
I'm
last
gonna-
3 weeks,
No.
then you're
No.
fine.
No,
But
I just
do
take
wanna-
I take
do
it up
wanna
high,
sanitize
go,
it now.
and
Yeah.
spray the Lysol.
I just take Lysol wipes and do a full, besides a screen.
Here's a
but I
good
wipe
visual
everything
to
down.
actually show, how much grows in a certain period of time.
And how bad.
Just,
Yeah.
how washing hands with soap and water
I need
is
to go buy
absolutely
white bread,
the number
though.
one.
Yeah, go get some
Yeah,
Wonder Bread.
white bread.
Yeah, I don't have any white bread.
Yeah.
I only
Yeah, I
have
mean, you would still
wheat,
see it
it's
on
a-
Wii,
Yeah, but,
but
it
it would
so much
wouldn't be
cooler to see
it would
on
be more dramatic with the.
Well, good luck finding bread.
I think we saw
Thanks.
some today.
No, we
Because
did
every
see some
time
today.
you touch something, like
Mhm.
if you take your finger and you dip it in a jar of jam or something, well, that's contaminating the jar of jam. So you leave it for a period of time, it's start going to grow mold on the top of the jar of jam when you open up next time.
Yeah.
On that note, I'll give a little PSA on sanitizing, and I know you guys probably saw my little post the other day on different things to sanitize that you don't think about. Like, for me, the big thing that, like, slapped me in the face was, like, my watch band. My watch band literally touches.
Well, your boob almost got in the
Everything. I know, I
guacamole, so.
Yeah.
But
Black boob.
your watch band, your wrist like touches every surface. I wash my watch band like when I wash my hands, but do I scrub it?
Yeah.
Like, so I really had to like think about all the different things that you touch, like your car door, your
Just
steering
what I
wheel,
went out with Lysol, my can,
yeah.
and I sprayed I walked
everything.
from inside the house and sprayed every single thing that you would touch.
Yeah.
Coming in, every faucet, every refrigerator door, the steering
Sunglasses.
Speaking of which,
Sunglasses.
I am picking my mom up at the airport tomorrow, and I was thinking I need like the big black garbage bags so I can just put her suitcase in the black garbage bag. I almost want to just quarantine my mom. Like, you
Can you spray her down? Like,
spray her down before you get in the car. I told her I was just gonna hose her off at the front.
Have her wear a mask.
We joked about bringing her to the Hayden property so she could just take an outdoor shower.
There you go.
yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
No, I've seen. I saw something on the news today talking about a nurse who worked in the hospital, and he said every single day that I come home, he undresses in the garage, drops his clothes, and immediately goes in, takes a full-blown hot shower to like kill anything that could potentially be in his lungs, because he's got a family at home, and it's super important right now.
Yeah.
Safety first.
And you can
Well,
actually kill
Liz,
germs.
do you want to? Are we almost done, or?
We can
You
wrap
can
it up.
actually
We can
kill
wrap it
germs
up.
with
I gotta
cold
make a phone
water,
call.
too, and so
So,
Yes.
the water doesn't have to be super hot.
here's to wine o'clock somewhere.
Okay. It's 1 o'clock
And to
somewhere.
us.
Hopefully you like the conversations that we have.
Yeah. Be
And,
smart. Just,
If not,
Yeah.
listen to us anyway.
yeah.
Or don't. We don't
Yeah.
really care.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Peace and love. Keep investing.
Yes.
Stay healthy.
Yeah.
Stay healthy. Keep investing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you.
And
Don't
have fun.
panic.
Yeah.
However, if you buy toilet paper, call me.
This too shall pass.
If you enjoyed hanging out with our group, make sure to join our Facebook group, It's 1 o'clock somewhere, for more laughs and more up-to-date information on our next get-together.